Tuscaloosa, Alabama. A lot to talk about. Thanks for joining me on the show. Wow, that was the graveyard shift. My goodness, that was a late one, right? What's up, everybody? Appreciate you guys joining in. Let me know where you're coming from in the comment box. I always appreciate to read through the comment box and see where you guys are coming in from. I appreciate it. It was a late one. There's a lot to talk about. I want to go through the stats. I want to take your call. You can call in 205-686-3604. Give me a second. Let me run through the stats as I usually do, and then we can continue with the program. I know a lot of you are curious about Tua Tagovailoa. I provided an update on Tua Tagovailoa that came directly for Nick Saban. And actually, let's read that update on Tua Tagovailoa before we start, and then we'll kind of just go forward. So this came earlier today. This is from Nick Saban. This came to our email inbox. Tua Tagovailoa suffered a high ankle sprain last night against Tennessee. Our physicians performed a successful tightrope procedure on his right ankle this morning. This is the same injury, but it's the opposite ankle that Tua injured last year. Tua will miss next week's game against Arkansas, but we expect a full and speedy recovery. So that was a statement provided by Nick Saban. And, this is really the worst case scenario. I mean, you do not want to lose a player like Tua Tagovailoa. And, we saw what Mac Jones came in. Give me your thoughts on Mac Jones, what you saw from him in the small sample size. Do you have faith in Mac Jones? I want to get your take on that tonight. But first of all, let's go over these stats and let's look at the stats, and then I'll take you guys' call. I appreciate you guys checking in from Hawaii. All right, here are the defensive stats. Let me give you the overall stats real quick. All right, here we go. So as you can see, Tua Tagovailoa, 11 for 12 on the night. He threw that one interception. That was a strange play by Tua, right? I don't think anybody really expected him to do that. And the crazy thing was, remember, a couple seasons ago, he threw an interception for a touchdown against Tennessee. That was the strangest thing. That's what I was saying. I was like, can you imagine if Henry Ruggs doesn't catch this guy? This guy's going to return it. And he would have thrown two interceptions, both taken to the house against Tennessee. It would have been strange. 155 yards. Mac Jones came in 6 for 11, 72 yards, rating of 109. Najee Harris, I thought he did a great job last night. 21 rushes, 105 yards, 2 touchdowns, longest to 15. Brian Robinson had a big night as well. 7 carries, 40 yards, and a touchdown. Kellen Robinson looked like he got in a couple times, 3 carries, 6 yards. Henry Ruggs, you're not seeing a lot of the production from the wide receivers. Obviously, Tua out, but Henry Ruggs caught 4 receptions for 72 yards. Najee Harris with 4 receptions for 48 yards. That's a lot of yards for Najee Harris, over 150 all-purpose yards with 2 touchdowns. So big night for Najee Harris. And when we look at the total stats, Alabama, and I said this earlier on the podcast that I posted at 3 a.m. this morning, Alabama had 373 yards, which was a season low. Out of their 7 games, in 5 games, they went for over 500 yards. So a lot of that production was taken away just because Tua didn't finish the second half of the game. You really saw the offensive production slide. Passing yards, 233. Rushing yards, 140. Penalties, 8 penalties. Check out that. Tennessee had 13 penalties for 93 yards last night. That's unbelievable. That's the highest that we've seen this entire season. First downs, Alabama had 23. Third down conversions, Alabama was 6 for 10, which is 60%. Tennessee, 7 for 15. That's not good from a defensive perspective. I mean, you don't want your opponent to be close to that 50% mark on third down conversions. When we look at the red zone, Alabama was 4 for 6. Tennessee was 3 for 4 fumbles. Tennessee lost that one that Trayvon Diggs took to the house. About 102 yards or something like that. That was an incredible play. Looking at the defensive stats up top, Christian Harris leads Alabama in tackles with 8 total tackles as a freshman. He was all over the place last night. I saw him have a couple times he was in trouble with some of Tennessee's wide receivers, but I mean, these guys are growing up, right? 8 tackles led the team. How about the play of Terrell Lewis? When you call in tonight, tell me about the play of him. I mean, unbelievable. We're seeing this guy explode at the right time. I can't even imagine him getting to Joe Burrow here in a couple weeks. I mean, him coming along is the biggest news for Alabama besides Tua being banged up. I think the play of Terrell Lewis is certainly going to be pivotal as we go into the rest of the college football season for Alabama. Anthony Jennings is another guy. I mean, those 2 guys are going to make a lot of money in the NFL. Xavier McKinney with 6 tackles. I mean, those guys are the veterans, right? The vets of this team. Shane Lee, 6 tackles as well. Shaheem Carter, 5 tackles. Let's move on. Now we're looking at the cumulative stats for Alabama through 7 games. hold those calls. I will get to your guys' calls in just a few minutes. Najee Harris, 95 rushing attempts for 556 yards. Let me try to clean that up for you guys. Only 3 touchdowns. Brian Robinson has 63 carries, 289 yards with 4 touchdowns. Tua Tagovailoa on the season, 74% passing, 2,166 yards, 27 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, averaging 309 per game. Mac Jones, 20 for 32. Let me ask you this. You think Mac Jones throws for over 200 yards against Arkansas? Curious. Receiving wise, Jerry Jeudy leads the team, 45 receptions, 579 yards, 6 touchdowns. Devontae Smith, 39 receptions, 654 yards with 9 receptions. Henry Ruggs, 22 receptions, 466 yards. Punt returns, Jalen Waddle up top to the right, 14 returns, 302 yards. Man, he's going to break one eventually, right? He's going to break one at some point. Trayvon Diggs has 2 interceptions. Jared Maiden has 2 interceptions picked off. Had 1 interception last night. And then Henry Ruggs, 8 returns, 215 yards. So those are the cumulative stats for Alabama. When we look at the stats, here we go. Here are the defensive team leaders. Xavier McKinney, 53 tackles on the season, which leads Alabama. Still believe it leads the SEC. I'll have to double check that. Anthony Jennings has 44 tackles. Shane Lee, 44 tackles. Christian Harris, 34 tackles. Those are those freshmen in the middle. Raekwon Davis, 30 tackles. No sacks by Raekwon Davis this season. Does that surprise you? Does it surprise you that Raekwon Davis doesn't have any sacks this season? Hey, I'll get to you guys' calls in just a minute. 205-686-3604. Shaheem Carter, Patrick Surtain, 26 tackles, 24 tackles. Trayvon Diggs with 20 tackles. So those are your cumulative stats for Alabama. And, that's I always like to break it down that way. All right, I'm going to open up the call line. I know a lot of people anxious to call in, so let me take your calls. 205-686-3604 is the number to call in. Call-in line is open. Appreciate you guys jumping on tonight. Last night was the graveyard shift for the media crew. Hope you enjoyed all the coverage. I put in a day of the life just so you can understand what goes on behind the scenes, so be sure and check that out. Also dropped some recruiting nuggets with Andrew Bone this afternoon. There's Jackson Bratton was in town. You had William Anderson. Both those guys were on official visits. You also had Zach Evans in town with big Damian George, 6'7", 325-pound lineman. We got our first call of the night. It's DJ from Ohio. Yo, DJ, what's up, man? How you doing, bud? Thanks for calling in. I appreciate it.
Hey, no problem. How you been?
I've been good, man. I'm eager to get some Z's, man. Last night, as I said, we're bringing it all night long, man. That was a late game, but I mean, my goodness, Tua going out, cause for concern, DJ.
I think you're gonna get injured during the year, just given his history. I was just hoping it wouldn't be like a serious injury. So I think it came at a good time versus Arkansas. Then you have the bye week. I think it came at one of the best times it could have came. If it's really just minor injuries going to last just 2 weeks.
Yeah, I think you're right. I mean, you look at this game. I mean, I know losing Tua, for any amount of time is bad news for this team. But I think you're right. You go against Arkansas, and I don't know if you guys saw, Alabama's a 35-point favorite against Arkansas. 35 points. What would they be with Tua if Tua was healthy, right? Would they be like a 60-point favorite? What about this, DJ? You think
40,
right? Yeah. I mean, I guess 45. DJ, over under. Does Mac Jones throw for over 200 yards against Arkansas?
Yeah, I think he goes for over 200.
Over 200. All right. Okay.
I think he'll be prepared for the game. He really nervous. He's gonna get in. But I think he'll be okay just for, short term, long term. He need to get his brother ready. But just for Arkansas, I could hit 200.
What about Talia? You think we're going to see Talia in this game against Arkansas? I certainly do.
Oh, yeah. I think we have to see him a little bit. Because I think the game going to still get out of hand with Mac in there. So I think he'll get a little bit of playing time, too.
Yeah, I think so. What else were your observations from last night against Tennessee?
I really enjoyed seeing Ty P. Ryan Cook kick the ball. I think he did a great job, and kind of wondering why we ain't been seeing him all year.
Yeah, Ty Perrine came in and booted the ball, and man, that was amazing. I mean, the crowd was seriously erupting when he was punting the ball. I mean, usually when a punter punts, you don't have screams in the crowd, and they might as well do. He might as well have his own light show, right? I mean, the Ty Perrine light show because. And I was joking around with Tony on the ride home. I was like, Alabama's kicking game. They have 99 problems, and Ty Perrine ain't one. It's
Oh yeah.
it's pretty amazing what he's doing for in this short term, and it's crazy to me to think that over the last 2 seasons, the punter has emerged as a walk-on. I mean, last year was Mike Bernier, and then this year it's Ty Perrine. So our team writer Tony Sucals had been talking about him. He has a feature story on him a couple weeks ago, and to see him boot the ball last night was a big sigh of relief for Alabama Crimson Tide fans. What else were your takeaways from last night against Tennessee?
I was really kind of shocked by how the head coach from Tennessee was acting throughout the game, trying to fight his another coach on his staff, and then going off on a player that he knew was a player that changed the plays or don't play well. That's why he was the backup. I think he kind of expected stuff from him that he wasn't able to do.
Yeah, that was Jeremy Pruitt. He was getting after his quarterback there on the fumble, and cooler heads always have to prevail. But at the same time, I mean, these guys are coaching. This is their livelihood, and I think Tennessee had an opportunity to make it a little bit closer. That was a costly fumble. It'll be interesting to see if he is disciplined at all. I doubt it, but in the world we live in today, it's everything is scrutinized and looked at. So, we'll have to see what Jeremy Pruitt's doing. But I think overall, when you look at Tennessee, they are a program that's trending upward. I think they played Alabama. I mean, they played them tight, a lot better than, people had thought they would. I think Jeremy Pruitt has to. He's coaching for his job over there. DJ, I got to run to the next call, but I appreciate you calling in as always, buddy.
All right, take care.
All right, take it easy, man. All right, DJ from Ohio. Who's next up? Give me a call. 205-686-3604. Want to get your comments and your takeaway from Alabama defeating Tennessee. Alabama moves to 7-0 on the season. As we look at this back end of Alabama's schedule, it's a gauntlet. You got Arkansas, and then you got that open week, and then the big boys are on the horizon with LSU coming in, and then you're going to have Auburn. So those are some big games. Call line is open, 205-686-3604. That it's going to be a very interesting contest here in a couple weeks at Bryant Denny with Alabama taking on LSU. We got another call coming in. Hello, you're on the line with Kyle Henderson. Who I'm on the line with, and where you calling from?
Hey, it's Robert from Mobile.
Hey, what's up, Robert? Good to hear from you, buddy. What were your takeaways from Alabama and Tennessee?
Well, again, the scary part, of course, was this too, going out, and it sure seemed like the air got let out of the ball when Mac Jones was in there. It was like the offense was just playing with a hand tie behind his back. With Mac Jones got in there, the receivers didn't look anywhere near as dynamic as they normally are. They say they don't have the rhythm right now that they normally have with Tua. Well, we'll see how that one does with Mac Jones going down in the next game against Arkansas. But you're right. Alabama could run the ball 75 times against Arkansas and still win. I think what's his name, Bo Nix, who was average at best at quarterback, he got 176 yards passing, and Auburn still managed to win 51, score 51 on Arkansas. So I expect them to hopefully see Talia in that game as well against Arkansas to get them more reps. I heard you're talking about Nick Saban and the high ankle sprain. That's what Jalen had last year, and he didn't look good for almost a month. Do you think the similar thing happened to Tua?
I think obviously they're different people. These are different injuries. It's different ankles. Last year, Tua had that same surgery after the SEC game, or SEC championship game. So he had several weeks to prepare, and then he came back against Oklahoma, and he looked good for the most part. I think he'll be fine. I really do. I think is he gonna? My question is, I think he's going to be fine for the later part of the season. My question is, what is his health going to be at against LSU? Because you're really having just 2 weeks to prep off that. And anyone with a high ankle sprain, I mean, if you sprain your ankle before, especially a high ankle sprain, I mean, it hurts, number one. Number two, the rehabilitation for that could take a little bit longer. Alabama has Jeff Allen, who's one of the best in the business, on their staff. I assume they'll figure things out with him. I don't know the percentage, what he'll be for LSU. I assume close to 100%, which he needs to be because Alabama needs Tua to beat LSU. I do not think that Alabama beats LSU without Tua Tagovailoa. What about you, Robert?
No, I don't either. I mean, it's just amazing. Last year I heard the talk with LSU. How are they going to score on Alabama? That's how bad they were last year. Where are they going to get the points? Now this year, it's how are we going to stop them from scoring?
Yeah,
it's just amazing how they flipped the script. And again, Burrows he's playing outstanding football. Let's hope maybe Auburn can slow him down a bit this next weekend. No one else has been able to slow him down. In the previous caller mentioned what happened with Jeremy Pruitt and the quarterback. Yeah, I agree with him. Pruitt went a little overboard with Giarratano on that last play.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, but it was a pivotal, yeah. But I mean, man, you're lucky to be in the game anyway. With the two was in, this wouldn't even have been a moot point. You would have been in the game.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, what were you expecting? You thought you were going to win or something?
Yeah, I think the thing about Tennessee right now is I think they're going for them keeping it close with Alabama would have been a moral victory for those guys. I think the game last night was never within reach for Tennessee, but I think Tennessee's going for moral victories. Jeremy Pruitt being back at Bryant-Denny Stadium, something to prove, coaching against his mentor Nick Saban. Lost his cool, obviously. That wasn't cool. And Alabama moves on, and Tennessee loses another game. Tennessee, like I said, though, trending in the right direction. But I think the overall news is just, the play of Mac Jones and how he is going to develop into this week. And like Nick Saban said, he didn't even have time for a pep talk. And that's why those number 2s and the 3s, you got to be ready because when your number is called, you got to step up. Is Mac Jones capable of beating Arkansas? Absolutely. Is he capable of beating LSU? I don't think so. Is he capable of beating Auburn? I don't think so. Will Tua be back for those games? Likely. And, but my question is, at what percentage is it going to be back for LSU? Because that's going to be, they need 100% Tua because LSU is coming in guns blazing.
Well, that'd be a huge narrative for Tua and, in this Heisman run right now.
Yeah.
If he were to come back and really light LSU up after this, that's a huge, that would be humongous as far as that goes, as far as Heisman goes. Speaking of teams trending, what do you think of Georgia, how they are trending?
Obviously downward. It was 0-0 with Kentucky for a while, and I thought, wow, another Georgia meltdown, and then they came back and won 21-0. Some say that Georgia's still going to be, there when everything settles, and probably so. I'm
not sure about them beating Florida now.
That's what I think. But can Florida beat Georgia? Do they have the quarterback to beat Georgia? Who's going to be the team from the East that challenges the team from the West? I think the power is certainly on the West side of the SEC.
Well, Trask is definitely playing way better than Fromm right now. That's way. If Trask plays the way he did against that in LSU and Death Valley, they can beat Georgia.
Yeah. No, that's a very good point.
Over Auburn.
Yeah, that's a very good point.
So Georgia can beat Auburn.
Any other takeaways from last night's game against Tennessee, Robert?
Najee, one of the great bright spots, and that list of this are really good. Najee and Harris and the Robinson they're peaking at the right time for us. They are running hard. They are running tough. They are going 3 yards in a cloud of dust and not running people over. They are doing really good right now. Of course, the offensive line in the whole is doing really good right now. The defense played well. Again, and like you said about Terrell Lewis, the defense and other players, they are starting to peak better. I didn't, they still allowed Tennessee to drive a bit more than I would have liked, but they only gave up 13 points, and 7 of those we can blame on Tua with that interception.
Yeah,
Still, I mean, defense still couldn't stop him.
I think you bring up a great point regarding the running backs. I mean, I think last night was a true vision of what we've all envisioned about Najee Harris. Him just, being that powerful running back that can be versatile, that can catch the football out of the backfield, that has the ability to hit the double juke stick. And then we have Brian Robinson, who's that powerful runner who's just starting to run downhill and stop dancing around. In fact, Pro Football Focus, their highest graded players is actually Deontay Brown, 87.1, Jedrick Wills, 77.5, Landon Dickerson, 76.9. All those guys were the highest graded players from Alabama's offense last night. So the offensive line certainly peaking at the right time along with those running backs. So I appreciate the call, Robert. I got to move to the next one, but thank you so much for calling in as always. All right, that was Robert from Mobile. DJ, appreciate it. And then Robert from Mobile always calling in. Call line is open, 205-686-3604. I want to get your takeaways from Alabama and Tennessee. Also get your thoughts on Mac Jones going into the game against Arkansas. Alabama is a 35-point favorite against Arkansas. I'm asking you, do you feel that Mac Jones will throw for over 200 yards? Is he capable? Do you want to see a split quarterback going into this Arkansas game? Do you want to see Talia? Do you want to see Paul Tyson come in there? Can Paul Tyson? A lot of people forget about him, that he's on the roster, but he's the number 4 quarterback down there. Hello, you're on the line with Kyle Henderson. Thanks for calling in. Where are you calling in from, and who I'm on the line with?
Oh, it's Terry from Helena, man.
Hey, what's up, Terry? Good to hear from you, buddy. What are your how was your Sunday, first of all? Tell me.
Oh, Sunday was great. It was great. Well, let's so Mac Jones, ain't nobody said it. I ain't heard nobody on sports radio, on the news, nothing. But Mac Jones was, man, he looked shaky the whole time. The moment was bigger than him. Mm-hmm. I'm saying it. I think this week, that quarterback room, or the next 2 weeks, they're going to have a competition for who's going to go out and play while Tua's out. I mean, you think I'm wrong?
No, I think you're right. I think that, when Mac Jones got hit by Tennessee safety, I think we all saw what people are afraid of. That's what's going to happen when Tua Tagovailoa is gone. I mean, you saw a big dip in the offense, and I get it. Backup quarterback goes right in. Would Talia have done something different? Probably not. There's just a huge experience gap between Tua Tagovailoa and the next quarterback on this roster. Not only experience, but just overall talent.
Do you think against Arkansas Talia get? I mean, I like to think Mac comes out. They're going to give him the confidence, but I like to see them alternate. I mean, unless they just run up the score real quick, which I don't see happening. I'd like to see those two guys alternate that game.
I think it's a perfect time to do something like that if they were going to do something like that, because you need experience for that backup quarterback. Who's to say that we don't run into more ankle injuries going forward with Tua, right? I mean, you got to have a quarterback in that second fold that is ready to go, that can win games for Alabama.
Now, when Jalen Hurts went down with his ankle and they did that little procedure where he was supposed to just be out the same amount of time, wasn't he out like 4 or 5 weeks?
Yeah, that happened against Tennessee, and then he was out for a while. Yeah, you're right. I'd have to go back and look it up, but it wasn't something that they just popped back up from, So
right, and I'm pretty sure that's about the same procedure they just did on Tua. So it's like everybody's talking about, he'll be back. I'm over here like, yeah, that's what they tell you, so you buy tickets.
Yeah, I mean, hey, everybody's going to buy a ticket to that LSU game, first of all. I mean, the question, I'm saying the same thing with you. What is the health going to be of Tua for that LSU game? Is he going to play? Absolutely, he's going to play. But what percentage health-wise is it going to be? It may be a 65% healthy.
One tackle away from, okay, he's done.
But maybe a 65% health Tua is better than 100% Mac or Talia, right? I mean, this guy, all he has to do is stand back there and read the defense, read the linebackers, and get it to Henry Ruggs or Devontae Smith. I mean, Tua can win.
You're right.
Right? It's not like he has to run around the game.
Worried. I'm just a little worried, man. That's why it comes off like, what? All these doubts. But it's like, damn, I'm worried.
Yeah, I mean, this is the worst case scenario. I mean, Tua being out, and you're right. I mean, people are like, oh, he'll be back in 2 weeks.
But the best takeaway from week 1 to right now is the fact that all these young guys are growing up on the field, not at practice. So, you look forward. I know we're not looking forward past the season, but these guys are going to be bad when they're juniors. They're going to be all of these guys are going to be awesome. So I'm loving that, but the growing pains kind of suck.
Yeah, and that's the defensive side of the ball. But, I mean, Shane Lee and Christian Harris, those guys continue to improve. Nick Saban has a lot of confidence in those guys. The defensive linemen, they're young. These are growing pains, and these guys are going to have to grow up, and they haven't seen an environment like they did last night against Tennessee, and they haven't seen the environment like they're going to see against LSU and against Auburn when they go to the Iron Bowl. Those games are going to be learning curves for those freshmen. But the good news is there's so much talent on the offensive side of the ball. We saw Najee Harris really explode last night. He ran like an NFL back. He caught the football like an NFL back. Brian Robinson did the same thing. There's so much talent on the offensive side of the ball.
Brian Robinson, when he would make contact with the people trying to tackle him, but I was a little amazed. I mean, I get it. Najee comes in the clutch, but it was like, why were they both not back there? Why, do they not have something dialed up for two running backs, old school football?
There were a couple sets where they put both of them in, like a split back set. I'd like to see more of it, and maybe we'll see more of it this coming week against Arkansas. But there's a couple formations where you do have Brian Robinson and Najee back there. I mean, those guys are both 230 pounds, so I would like to see both of those guys back there. But then who do you take off? You got to take a wide receiver off or kind of figure it out that way. But
I'd say I hate to say it, but I mean, Waddle is probably the smallest receiver. So for blocking and whatnot, I mean, he may just have to stick to the punt returns, the return team.
Yeah, he might have to. But hey, I got to run to the next call. But
it ain't like you can't do it. Put him in because he's explosive. But it's like, hell, if we're running more than we're passing, he's not your best blocker.
I got to run to the next call, but thanks for calling in. Please call again next time, all right? All right, take it easy. All right, 205-686-3604 is the number to call in. I mean, I get it. I mean, I'd like to see both of those running backs in the backfield as well, but I think the running game is peaking at the right time. I think the offensive line is peaking at the right time. Defense is going to have their vulnerabilities. Patrick Surtain looked like he struggled. Was checking out the Pro Football Focus grades, and he only graded out at a 59.3. So it seems like he's been struggling these last couple games. But the good news is Terrell Lewis, Anthony Jennings, I mean, those guys are bringing it for the pass rush. I mean, Terrell Lewis, what he's doing, really, really incredible. Hello, you're on the line with Kyle Henderson. Who I'm on the line with, and where are you calling from?
Hey, man, this is Daniel calling from Athens, Alabama.
Hey, Daniel. How you doing tonight, buddy?
Man, I'm doing great.
What were your major takeaways from last night's game against Tennessee?
Hold on a minute. Yeah.
Daniel's busy.
No, I'm sorry about that. I hated to see Tua throw that interception and see Tua to go down. Mm-hmm. But listen, I found your channel on YouTube, so that's where I was watching you from.
Okay.
And, we got to give Mac Jones a chance, man. Mm-hmm. We threw him in there, like, at the wrong time. Mm-hmm. What he should have been doing is practicing with the first line offense during practice to get him ready for something like this. Mm-hmm. Me, myself, I think if we can get him set to where he's not as nervous as he was last night, mm-hmm. Me, myself, mm-hmm. as a Bama fan, I believe he could beat LSU. But that's just me. And my other one was when we was down in the red zone and they spread Mac Jones out to wide receiver. Mm-hmm. I can't remember numbers 18, his name, but I never saw that before. I thought that was an awesome play.
Yeah, that was Slade Bolden. He's number 18. And he actually played quarterback and was the Louisiana Gatorade Player of the Year a couple seasons ago. In Alabama, what they like about him is the fact that he's very versatile and the fact that he can play like a dual threat quarterback. He can play slot receiver. they're trying to figure out how to get him onto the field just because he's so athletic and such a dynamic type of individual. And last night, that's called the Wildcat formation. So you can put a running back there, you can put a wide receiver, you hike the ball to him. It confuses the defense, and he threw a touchdown pass last night, which was pretty cool. I think it was one of the key moments of the game. Absolutely.
Oh yeah, the Tennessee takeaway. I was pretty amazed by their defense.
Mm-hmm.
The Jared Tano fumble, I agree. Jeremy Pruitt shouldn't have done that. Could have handled it more better.
Uh-huh.
But other than that, I liked the game. I love the light show they done.
Oh yeah, we didn't even talk about that. Good call, Daniel. The light show was amazing. Wow, the light, like right before the teams came out, because they had been doing the light show a couple times, and then right when the teams were about to come out, it was completely red, completely crimson, and they just let it hold for like 4 seconds or something like that. Then they went into their lights, and my goodness, I mean, what was cool about it was the fact that they could really rile up the crowd with just, a flicker of the lights, because the crowd might be out of it. They might be looking at their phones, and boom, just like that, they bring them right back into the action. I thought it was electric last night, a fantastic atmosphere at Bryant-Denny Stadium. For the recruits that were visiting, that is big-time college football, so that was great stuff. Great addition, Daniel. I appreciate you bringing that up. Anything else while you're on the show, Daniel?
No. You have a great night, man,
Okay.
and God bless you, brother.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Right back at you, Daniel. Thanks, buddy. All right, that was Daniel from Athens, Alabama. I appreciate it. Call-in line is open, 205-686-3604. Schedule for this week includes Nick Saban speaking on Monday, and we got a couple players that we're going to speak with on Tuesday. Same thing, player interviews on Wednesday. Nick Saban's going to do it again. Be sure and check out my day in the life video. I posted it on YouTube. You can kind of, check out what I do during game days. I think it gives you a good story to what really goes on behind the scenes. And it was fun to do. I've always wanted to do something like that just so I can kind of have it as an archive, but got another call coming in. Hello, you're on the line with Kyle Henderson. Who I'm on the line with and where are you calling from?
Tim from North Carolina.
All right, cool. What's your name, man? Didn't catch it.
Tim Grant.
All right,
from
what's
North
up?
Carolina.
All right, cool, man. What's up? What's on your mind?
Not much, man. I thought I enjoyed watching them play. I think they played pretty good. Tua, I believe, I don't know what he was seeing or thinking when he threw that interception. I don't know. I don't know if he's trying to keep up with the other quarterbacks, the LSU quarterback, Jalen Hurts, and all that. But I think he needs to do better than that and just throw the ball away.
Yeah, I thought that was really uncharacteristic on Tua's part. I mean, we really haven't seen that from him, and just a really strange play. What else?
Yeah, the defense, I think played better again. They're improving. The one thing though I would like to see is KO get in and they take Shane Lee out and put Harris at the middle line, the strong side linebacker, and put KO at weak side. I think those two would complement each other a lot better than Harris and Lee in at the same time.
Yeah, that's an interesting point, and I've kind of wondered that myself, because with Kaho, he's so athletic. I think he can get around the field a little bit better than Shane Lee, but then you take out Shane Lee, and he's such a good open field tackler. I mean, the kid is everywhere. He loves to put his hat, right on the action. So you take away a tackler, but you put in someone more athletic. What have you thought about Christian Harris's play overall?
So I think Christian Harris he's definitely improving, and to be honest, I like him better than I do Lee. Remember, if I'm not mistaken, he didn't come in until this summer, and Shane Lee's been there since December.
You're right.
I think he's quicker to the point of attack. A lot of times that I see, it seems like Shane Lee, he's getting blocked more than Harris. I don't know if it's because of him trying to diagnose and read the play. It's taking him longer. I don't know what it is, but not saying that he makes a lot of mistakes, but I just think at this point in the season, I see that Harris, man, he will fill that hole and bring the wood behind him. Not saying that Lee won't do it, but I just think Lee, if it was me, I would like to see him lose a little bit of weight and to be able to move a little bit better on the field.
Yeah, I mean, Shane Lee, I mean, you bring up a good point. I mean, he's, 255 pounds, something like that. And you've seen a couple times where he's struggled to keep up with running back out of the backfield. Big boy. And I think you bring up an excellent point in the fact that Shane Lee has been here as an early enrollee, whereas Christian Harris, he just got here this summer. He's never even played inside linebacker before. And now he's starting at Alabama as a true freshman. It's mind-blowing if you think about it.
Yep.
Anything else, Tim, while you're on the line? Any other takeaways from last night?
Man, I hope everything goes well with Tua's recovery.
Yeah.
I think we'll be fine against Arkansas. But LSU, man, Tua's gonna need to be 100%.
Yeah,
they're gonna come after him. That defensive coordinator for LSU, he's gonna bring it. He's gonna bring it.
Oh, they brought it last year. Remember last year they brought it. I mean, there was a couple times where they hit Tua right on his knee, right? I mean, you remember that last year?
Yeah.
There was a couple. Honestly, I don't know if it was intentional, but they were dialing up stuff. They were hitting Tua. They're gonna bring it on Tua, whether his ankles, whether it's right on his sternum. I mean, LSU is coming. That is a bad moon rising, and they're just a couple weeks away from coming into Bryant-Denny Stadium. Very concerning team coming in. Tim, I appreciate the call. Please call again next time.
I will. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much. That's Tim from North Carolina. Appreciate it. Call line is open. 205-686-3604 is the number. Call in. I mean, I think, the storyline is the health of Tua Tagovailoa, right? What is his status going to be during that open week? Can he make enough recovery in time for the big one against LSU? What do you think about this Arkansas game? Anything about Arkansas? Anybody worried about this Arkansas game and the fact that Alabama doesn't have their starting quarterback in Tua Tagovailoa? Now you're getting to the nitty-gritty where who's next? Who's going to step up and lead this offense? Looks like it's going to be Mac Jones and getting his shot. Good evening. You're on the line with Kyle Henderson. Who am I on the line with and where are you calling from?
Hunter from Hartman, Alabama.
All right, Hunter. What's up, buddy? Good to hear from you. How was your Sunday?
It was good, man. How was yours?
Oh, it was great. Thank you very much for asking. It was restful, man. It was a beautiful day. Good to catch some Z's after last night's graveyard shift, man. But what's on your mind? Go ahead.
Yeah, I know, talking about Tua getting hurt, and that certainly isn't a good thing. However, I think we had to take into consideration what we've seen Saturday night out of Mac Jones is they didn't have a game plan for him. Mm-hmm. They didn't plan on him getting hurt, on Tua getting hurt. So I hear some people saying, Mac Jones ain't what he needs to be. I don't know if that's the case or not. I guess we'll see next week against Arkansas. But they just didn't have a game plan that fits his needs and what he can and cannot do. So we'll see what he's really made of come Saturday.
Yeah, that's I like this. I like this take. Being the fact that. Let's base this off what Mac Jones can do. Is he the type of quarterback that, can I don't know about his deep ball, but maybe he's the guy that can be serviceable, so to speak. I mean, maybe he can move around a little bit. I mean, we're gonna get a chance to find out very soon against Arkansas. Let me ask you this: would you like to see Tua Tagovailoa get in this game as well?
I would, but only in the instance that he's not doing very well. Mm-hmm. Because I think that he has more experience. He knows the offense better than Talia. And it's not a knock on Talia. I like Talia. But let's see what he can do first. And if he's not cutting it, sure, let's put him in. But we've got to give the man a chance. I mean, this is what this kid's been waiting for. So let's see what the kid's made of.
I like that, and the fact that Saban has said, this guy's way ahead of the other guys. He's paid his dues, and Saban is a loyal guy. We've talked about that before. If you stick around in the program, you do your job, and you're ready on the depth chart, he's going to get his opportunity to showcase that he can lead this team. He's going to be able to, really show us that on Saturday. And talking with the players after the game, those guys have confidence in Mac Jones. They have confidence in their team. This is a very experienced team on offense, and Mac Jones has been around. He knows how to win from being around those guys, and now he has an opportunity right in front of him to go pick up his first W against Arkansas.
Yeah, and also remember Jacob Coker, who came in and who everybody thought that he wasn't going to be very good, and he won a national championship.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, you have guys like that. I got a question for you.
Yeah.
How do you think Christian Harris and Justin Bobe and Byron Young did in the game?
I mean, those guys fared above average. I think they're coming along. I think one guy who continues to impress me, he's a redshirt freshman. I know you didn't ask me about him, but Christian Barmore. I don't know. Yeah. There was a particular play where Barmore's coming out and he's chasing the quarterback down. And I mean, the effort that he has, is just, the motor that Barmore has. He is playing angry, right? He's playing like he really has something to play for. I really like to see him get on the field more. And I'll tell
you what he's doing. He's fighting for that starting job.
There you go. Yeah. He's hungry. Yeah.
He's hungry. And I think that, and this might be a bad thing in the long run. Do you think maybe these two middle linebackers are taking it for granted that they're freshmen starting under the circumstances that they are, that they're not as hungry as they would be if they were being subbed in and out with Dylan Moses, really having to prove which one of those two was going to get on the field first?
No, I don't think that. Those guys seem, that those guys, number one, seem humble, and number two, those are the guys that they have, and they've tried. Nick Saban has put in Markel Benton. He's put in Ali Cajo. Those guys, Christian Harris and Shane Lee, those are the best guys that he feels he has. Otherwise, we would see Alabama do something drastic. We talked about it in the last show, maybe even slide in a Chris Allen to the inside linebacker position. But no, I think those guys have proven that those are going to be Alabama's inside linebackers, and I would highly doubt that those guys are taking it for granted.
Yeah, just to be clear, I'm not saying that was my take on it.
Yeah.
I was just saying, I don't know. And people have got to realize that we're very young on defense, so we're not. And like I said on the call before, this defense can't get anywhere but anything but better.
Mm-hmm.
So let's see what happens here. Now, like you were just saying, those guys from LSU are going to be coming after Tua. So our offensive line has got to protect him, and he's got to learn. And this is the thing that I've seen for Tua in the game in a couple of instances where he's got not to be afraid to run when he has an open gap in the field. He had a run for a first down if he just would have ran. And I don't know if he's afraid to run because of that ankle or what. But he just doesn't seem to want to shoot the gap when he's got one. And so I don't know what the deal is there. Or maybe the coaching staff doesn't want him running. I don't know. But there was one play where he clearly could have got the first down if he would have ran through that gap.
Let me ask you this. Let me ask you about Ty Bernine, the punter. How thrilled were you to see him booming those punts last night? It seemed like a big sigh of relief for the entire stadium.
That was crazy. I seen something on Facebook earlier today saying that kid was the first African-American punter in Alabama. Mm-hmm. And that kid could punt. Let's give credit where credit's due. The kid can punt. I'm cool if he keeps on kicking like that. He can be our starting punter. That don't bother me at all. So I like seeing that. I like to see guys who are walk-ons get to have their shot and their time to shine. So kudos to that kid for sure.
Yeah, I thought he did a great job. I thought I was shocked to see Will Reichard get hurt again. Geez, poor dude. He just went out a couple plays after Tua goes down, and then Pernine comes in and looks like he's going to be the punter for Alabama going forward, I guess.
I think that was a bad coaching decision to let him play this early with that hip flexor. I think they should have let him stay out a couple more weeks before they try to put him in again. I think that was a bad coaching decision there.
Yeah, I don't know about his whole health status or where he was at. We saw him working towards the end of practice, but I mean, him being banged up, I don't think that's good news for Alabama. I know Bolivus has been he's steady, I guess, so to speak, but I mean, Alabama has a lot of kicking issues, so hopefully Bolivus can stay on target. Anything else? Any other takeaways from last night?
Two things real quick.
Mm-hmm.
One, I don't even get mad anymore when we miss field goals. That's just where I'm at with the whole situation.
Yeah.
Number two, I really like what I'm seeing from Jordan Battle. I've been high on this kid all year, and I'm just waiting. I'm just really, really excited about him going forward the next couple of years, playing for us. And him and when did you see Jordan Davis in the game? I don't think I've seen Jalen Arbor Davis in the game. I don't think he got to play this game, but he did get to play against Texas A&M there at the end of the game, and he made one good play out there. So there's some guys to be looking out for.
Yeah, I think I was just looking at the stats here. It said Jordan Battle had 2 tackles. I don't see Jalen Armour Davis on the stat sheet. I'd have to look at the fine print to see.
I don't think he played.
Yeah, I don't think he played. But I do like guys like Jalen Armour Davis, and I do like DeMarco Hellams. Those are 2 of those younger secondary players that I think are going to be very good for Alabama. DeMarco Hellams is a safety who I think is I think he's going to be really good next year. Like you, I agree with Jordan Battle. I mean, that kid has played a lot. He played a lot more than I thought he was going to play this year. I didn't know he was going to be this good. I think he's been a big surprise for me. So kudos to Alabama.
It didn't really surprise me. It didn't really surprise me because as far as he was very, very highly recruited in high school,
mm-hmm.
and he was committed to Ohio State at one time and split when Urban left. So this kid was recruited all over the country, and so it didn't really surprise me too much. And Brandon Turnage is another guy to look out for.
Oh yeah,
down the line too.
Definitely.
So, all right, man. Well, I appreciate you taking my call.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much for calling, and you always have such great stuff, especially on the recruiting front. So, thank you very much for calling in.
All right, bye-bye.
All right, good stuff. Great calls. The young secondary, Jordan Battle. He's very special player. 205-686-3604. DJ Dell. Let me see. You guys are talking about Dell. I can get you his Pro Football Focus grade out as well. DJ Dell had 2 tackles, 1 tackle for a loss. It was actually Christian Barmore that was graded the highest from Pro Football Focus, followed by Anthony Jennings and Jared Maiden and Xavier McKinney. But I can look up DJ Dell's grade. I think DJ Dell has been a guy who's really played extraordinary this season, considering he's a freshman. Hello, you're on the line with Kyle Henderson. Thanks for calling in. Where are you calling in from, and who am I on the line with?
What's up, Kyle? It's CFB Jared.
Hey, what's up, CFB? Thanks for calling again. I appreciate it, man. How you been? How's your Sunday?
I'm doing well. How about you?
It's good, man. So, where you want to go, man? This Alabama-Tennessee game. 35-13. What were your takeaways from this game?
Well, going into this game, I thought we would play a little better. I definitely think we played a little sloppy, and then kind of the Tua injury kind of derailed us a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But, I was, when Mac Jones first went out there, he was, definitely nervous in my opinion. And I feel like, as the game went on, he was still a little nervous, but definitely got better. I mean, he nearly went 9 for 11 for over 100 yards and a touchdown if it wasn't for 3 drops, from the receivers. And so, I was okay with his performance, after he kind of got some of the jitters out, but I don't know if we'll be able to win with him versus LSU if Tua's not able to play versus LSU.
So would you say that your confidence is above average with Mac Jones, or are you fully confident in Mac Jones going forward that he can be this quarterback for this team? And I ask this not for the Arkansas game or for whatever happens if Tua comes back and when he comes back, but I'm talking next year when these guys are fighting for the quarterback position. Do you think it's going to be a Mac Jones-led offense in 2020?
I don't know about that. I think Mac Jones can definitely lead us to, probably like a 42 points or 45 points in Arkansas, but I'm not confident in his abilities versus, say LSU. He's just like, we haven't seen much from him. this was really the first time he's actually gotten some like really meaningful playing time, and of course it wasn't really that great, but I'm still a little optimistic with him versus Arkansas, but definitely not versus LSU.
Yeah, I think I'm kind of in that same boat, and I really want to see Tua Tagovailoa get in against Arkansas. I think that he has the talent, and I think he's a player that can extend plays a little bit longer than Mac Jones can, just because of his athleticism. And we've seen it, before in practice. We saw it during the spring game. I think he's a guy that plays with a lot of energy. He's just a playmaker. I mean, even go back to his high school games last year when he played against Paul Tyson. I mean, the kid is just a gamer, and that's the kind of opportunity where a kid like Talia can really come up, can shine against a team like Arkansas, where they are the favorite, but he still has to gut it out to prove himself, and I think this is a good opportunity for that. So I'd really like to see Talia get in there as well. I think Mac Jones can get it done, absolutely. How can he not? I mean, the talent on offense and the way that the offensive line is playing, most importantly, provides a lot of firepower for that offense.
Oh yeah, most definitely. And one thing I noticed with the offense is Chris Owens at tight end. Our blocking at tight end has been pretty bad, and I thought that was kind of cool how they were using him as a blocking tight end in a few situations.
Yeah, in case you missed it, they put last night they put Chris Owens came out as number 84. 84.
Yeah.
So big bad Chris Owens. They're like, hey, you're not starting at center, but guess what? You're gonna be our blocking tight end. So he was probably like, cool, all right, I'll do it. Yeah, you need a blocking tight end.
Yeah, when the announcers were saying that. Yeah, the announcers were saying that's Chris Owens. I was like, what are you talking about? It's number 84. It's not Chris Owens. And I was like, oh wait, that is Chris Owens.
Yeah. So, that was good. I think the offensive line, though, they're playing fantastic. I mean, I was looking at the Pro Football Focus grades, and I was comparing it from what I just saw last night. And one player that really played lights out on the offensive side of the ball, if you go and rewatch the game, keep an eye on Deontay Brown, the way that he played. There was a particular play where Alabama scored. It was Najee Harris to the outside, and Deontay Brown just set the edge and just smashed the defensive lineman. And he's a big boy. He plays with the high motor. Him and Landon Dickerson out there together, and then the growth of Evan Neal just coming along with those bookend offensive tackles. I really, really like this offensive line where they're at right now.
Oh yeah, most definitely. I'm really enjoying seeing how they're playing. Of course, we haven't really played a really great deep line, but what we've seen so far, with Landon Dickerson sliding into center and Brown, going into right guard, I really liked it. Definitely the start of the year, it was kind of a big cause for concern, but I think we've kind of fixed that now, and they're gelling. You can see that, and I'm really liking what we see with the power that we're getting from there. And then also, like the last few callers mentioned, Ty Ryan. I was waiting for him to, get on the field. I saw that, a few weeks ago that you guys, Bama Insider posted an article on him. Ever since then, I was wondering why he wasn't getting on the field, and he finally got his shot today. And last night, and he really showed out.
Did you see that tackle that he had where he came through and he smashed into the punt returner? I mean, man, I was like, wow, this dude, can he play inside linebacker, right? Can Kareem play? Is he a punter and an inside linebacker? I mean, because this dude's all over the place. I thought it was great. The crowd, like I said to the last callers, I mean, he was punting and the crowd they were cheering. It was like a roar when the ball was in the air. He had some good hang time as well. So maybe the punting game is solved. I mean, fans were spoiled with J.K. Scott. How could you be not? I mean, the kid was J.K. Scott was. We'll probably never see a punter like that again over in Alabama. I mean, that guy was unbelievable. That was. What else you got? So we talked about offensive line. We talked about the punting. What were your thoughts on Terrell Lewis and the level that he's playing at? Do you think he's playing like a top 15 pick in the NFL draft? I think he is. I mean, he's getting to the quarterback almost at will right now.
Oh yeah, most definitely. You've seen how like Chase Young has been playing, and he's like the past 2 weeks he's been step for step. He's gotten 2 sacks in 2 back-to-back games, and I kind of at the beginning of the year he was jogging around and kind of not really giving 100% effort. I think it was because he wasn't 100% healthy, but now that he's fully ready, he's showing out, and God forbid he gets injured, that'll really be worrying. But of course, right now he's being great. He's doing amazing things.
Yeah, no, I think the level that he's playing at is certainly going to propel this defense and continue to get that heat on the quarterback, especially when Alabama plays LSU. I know we keep talking about LSU and Arkansas's next, and this is all rat poison, but hey, we'll talk what we want to talk about. We all know that LSU is on the horizon, and that pass rush is going to be vital against LSU. You got to have Anthony Jennings and Terrell Lewis and, I don't know, maybe a Christian Barmore, whoever's playing defensive line at that time, get after the quarterback, because that's going to be crucial when Alabama and LSU collide here in a couple weeks. Anything else, Jared?
Well, keeping on that pass rush, we haven't really seen Burrow, pressured a lot this year due to the fact that, the competition that they played, even though they played Texas and Florida versus Florida, I mean, the top two DNs for them were out, so they couldn't really get a pass rush on Burrow. Mm-hmm. So, they're going to play Auburn this weekend, and they got a big, nasty D-line over there, so we'll see how he plays versus them. I definitely think that, I'll be tuning into that game just to see how he does versus the pressure, because no doubt he's a great quarterback, but it's just like Tua. When you put him under pressure, it's, kind of a different story.
No, absolutely. Great call as usual. Please call again, and we'll continue to break it down. But it's coming, that LSU Alabama game. But I appreciate the call, and call again next time. All right.
All right. Have a good one.
All right. You too. All right. CFB Jared calling in. Appreciate the call. 205-686-3604. Hit me up. The call line is open. Want to get your take on this Alabama and Tennessee game, and get your take on Mac Jones starting for Arkansas. Hey, did you guys see that Jalen Hurts was smoking a cigar following Alabama's victory over Tennessee? Thought it was pretty cool. He's built by Bama, right? And he's balling out of Oklahoma. Maybe he was smoking the cigar because maybe he feels that now he has an edge on the Heisman race, right? I mean, the numbers that he's putting up, they're ridiculous. I mean, they're playing nobody, though. Oklahoma's playing nobody. The rest of their schedule, come on. The rest of their schedule is trash. Hey, what's going on? It's Kyle Henderson. Who I'm on the line with, and where are you calling from?
What's going on, Kyle? This is Jared from Buffalo, man.
Hey, what's up, Jared? Good to hear from you, buddy. I appreciate it. Did you have a strong Sunday?
Yeah. Got a little bit of a migraine here. My Bills had to struggle with the Miami Dolphins. We somehow pulled it off, but I'm a little worried about that. But overall, was pretty good Sunday.
All right, man. All right. So what's on your mind, man? Go ahead.
Oh, okay, Kyle. I'm gonna say that I might go on a little bit of a rant. So if I go out a little bit out of pocket, you might have to stop me here. Kyle, the way I don't like to say this right now, Kyle, but the way we're looking right now, we're not winning the national championship this year, and the reason why is because we have way too many deficiencies. Now, yes, it was a great Tennessee win. It was great smoking the cigar on Saturday. That was really good. Never did it before, but I'm glad I did. But we have way too many deficiencies. Number one, we can't stop the run. It's been consistent that every single team we played against has had over 100 yards rushing against us. We continue to get pushed back 2-3 yards beyond the line of scrimmage. The running backs continue to get 3 yards after 3 yards right before they get touched. It's too much. It's way too much. And when we go against some of the best running teams, and when teams start to really exploit that we can't stop the run, that becomes a very big issue. I think number two is that on defense, we kind of have a big ego. We're like the New England Patriots. We're like the New England Patriots. We love to play man-to-man coverage, two deep safety back. Love to leave our corners back in the island and trust our front seven to generate pressure on the quarterback. Now, like I said last week, we improved a lot, and I love the improvement that we're able to rush the quarterback. But Tennessee had a lot of clean pockets. Up until I would say the second half when Terrell Lewis, I thought Terrell Lewis had a bad first half, but he came on very strong in the second half, was able to generate pressure and get after the quarterback, and I think that definitely lifted a spark for our football team, and that's how important Terrell Lewis and Anthony Jennings are as outside pass rushers. But we got too many penalties. We are a man-to-man coverage football team, and LSU, what do they love to do, Kyle? they take advantage of man-to-man coverage. They want them because they believe that their receivers are better than almost everybody else. And that's how they take advantage. And again, it's not like our receivers, how we're like 5'11", 5'10" receivers. They're 6'2", 6'3", 6'4" receivers that take advantage, using their strength, using their body weight to their advantage, getting separation, and they have great route running ability and great quickness off the line of scrimmage. So I don't know how Alabama, honestly, Kyle, I don't know how we're going to stop LSU with their RPO type scheme. Another thing that LSU also does really well is that they run the ball very, very well. With Clyde Edwards Jr., those two freshman backs, they got a nasty offensive line as well. Which, by the way, I think LSU is actually, either third. They're either third or second, right behind Oklahoma, as far as pass blocking efficiency. And so it concerns me as just watching that Tennessee game and just watching the overall season, how we can't, as a defense, I'm just not seeing that much more improvement that I can be confident going into that LSU game saying, what can we do to stop Joe Burrow and stop that LSU offense? Another thing too, is Kyle, is that Tua is hurt, that high ankle sprain, and I've had a high ankle sprain before. I've played quarterback. I played quarterback at Brockport. I'm telling you, Kyle, he's going to be hurt for the rest of the year. That's going to be lingering for the rest of the year, and we saw how that happened. So, my concern levels, Kyle, are now through the roof right now. I'm in that panic mode. Bama fans, you guys can disagree with me. I get it. You guys want to criticize me on it, but my concerns are through the roof right now, Kyle.
All right, man. Well, rule number one: relax. All right, it's Sunday. We gotta just let's relax. Let's let things sink in. Let's not freak out because, look, the offense, yes, revolves around Tua, but the fact is, this offense has so many dynamic weapons and a lot of mouths to be fed. And I think the great thing about last night, and this is something that you didn't mention, is the fact that Najee Harris awoke and Brian Robinson shined. That running game, we've been asking about, where's the running game? When is Alabama going to have the running game? Well, with Deontay Brown back, with Landon Dickerson at center, and this offensive line, it's catapulted Alabama's running game. And I think the Alabama running game is peaking at the right time. Can Alabama win by running the football? They've done it in the past, and now they can do it again. So I think with the running game hitting their stride, I think this is all happening, oddly enough, at the right time. Now, I do agree with you about this high ankle sprain. High ankle sprains are yucky. Same thing with hamstring tears and hamstring pulls. Whoever's tore their hamstring or had a high ankle sprain, it sucks, right? Nobody likes them. It takes a long time to recover. Tua, probably more superhuman than all of us. I think he's even right-handed and he throws left-handed. So, hey, he's genetically gifted. So maybe he can come back and Jeff Allen can get him rehabbing a little bit quicker and get him up to speed for LSU. Is he going to be 100%? I'm on the pessimistic side of that, but let's be optimistic. And hopefully you can come back and be healthy. LSU is coming in, guns blazing. I think you brought up a great point about their wide receivers. I watched them play a couple times this year. I think their wide receivers are comparable to the Alabama wide receivers, and I think their running backs are just as good, if not a little bit better than Alabama's running backs, which is scary. And I think their secondary is good as well. So it's the game of the year. It's going to be – someone asked me what time it's going to be. It's probably going to be at 2:30. I doubt –
It really sucks, man.
I know.
Really
I know. I guess a couple years ago they swapped it because they were both 1 and 2 and they put it in the night game. I'd love to see that happen again. So we'll keep you posted. But for now, I would assume that it's at 2:30. But I'm not really going into panic mode until – I watched that Alabama-Arkansas game, and I see what transpires. And the week after, we'll start to see more Tua. And if you can come back and start practicing by early, I guess middle of the week, then we'll know just where Tua is. But hold on to the panic mode because I think everything's going to be okay. A lot of talent on the offensive side of the ball. The defense, they're playing better. Are they perfect? No. but they only allowed 13 points last night, and there was plenty of opportunity for them to allow more. So they're playing opportunistic. That was an opportunistic play by Trayvon Diggs, and when you're optimistic, good things happen, and you return fumbles for touchdowns from 100 yards out. What else, Jarek?
I'm gonna respond to this, Kyle, real quick. Cause I gotta get at you with this one, Kyle. How many? So all right. So Alabama's run game, right? We talk about the run game improvement. I completely agree with you. I loved seeing Najee Harris run the ball. I actually had a huge smile on my face when I saw Najee Harris got 21 carries for 105 yards, and Brian Robinson was doing his thing. But how many rushing yards did Alabama had against Clemson? They had over 100 and they had over 160 yards rushing against Clemson. They had averaged their running backs had averaged almost 6 yards per carry against Clemson. Mm-hmm. Clemson, but what did they do? We relied more on the passing game against Clemson.
Yeah.
What I'm trying to say is that we rely too much on Tua Tagovailoa. We relied way too much on him. So even if he does play against LSU, and even though I think that yes, LSU's we see that they got a lot of athletes, they got a lot of belief, but they're really not that good at that much stopping the run. But for Alabama's sake, what's the best defensive front unit they've played against? What's the talent level that they've played against that can make me say, okay, you know what? I like the offensive line, but it just gives me a little concern, Kyle, because I like I like their defensive line. Their strength really is the depth of their defensive line with Tyler Shelvin and Siaki Akia and Brandon Fehoko and Rashard Lawrence and all those guys coming back. And I look at the motivation for those players compared to last year and how, you know what, we get pumped up by Alabama almost every single year. Remember, and you said to yourself, they brought the pressure to Tua Tagovailoa. They brought the pressure to him. They got after him a little bit.
Last year.
They got after him.
That definitely. Yeah.
So I don't know, like Kyle, like I don't know, like I don't want to be concerned, but after what I saw from that Tennessee game, and again, Alabama was very optimistic, but Tennessee the game could have been a lot closer. Like, what if they probably just would have what if he would have never fumbled the ball and Tennessee would have had an opportunity, they would have scored a touchdown? What if Tennessee had a lot of penalties even inside their zone, and Tennessee, they're a rebuilding football team. So that's why it just gives me a pause for concern, and it kind of raises the roof a little bit for me, Kyle. That kind of just like, I like Alabama. I love the future. I think next year we're going to get back to that dominant stage on defense. But because we're so youthful, and because we kind of just we lack that experience, I feel like for this year, I just think that there are just too many teams. I think that this year that are just more championship level than Alabama is this year.
Yeah, I mean, when we look at the greater fold of college football, I mean, let's look at the top teams right now. So you have Alabama at the top, then you have LSU. I guess you have Ohio State at the number 3 spot. I mean, maybe at the number 2 spot, but the teams from the Big Ten, they keep on losing. I mean, weren't you guys shocked with Wisconsin losing? I was. I mean, the way that they had played throughout the start of the year, and then they lost. So we'll add them into the pretender category.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like Clemson and Oklahoma could be locks. I mean, you look at their back end schedule, they're not playing anybody. So those two teams could be locked into the college football playoffs. So I'm kind of wondering, could it be Penn State? Could it be Ohio State? Are those two teams going to cancel each other out? And does that open a door for a one-loss SEC team to have 2 SEC teams creep into the college football playoffs? I guess we could talk about that another time. But that could certainly be the case. But when you look at it from a talent perspective, I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of young faces on this team, and that could be the Achilles heel, along with the injury to Tua Tagovailoa. I mean, the kid has to stay healthy. We've seen it in the past. We've seen it time and time again with Tua. I mean, everybody loves Tua. Who doesn't love Tua? Nobody's ever going to say one bad thing about Tua. You can't. The way that he represents himself, the way that he represents his family, that's how you do it as a man going forward.
Mm-hmm.
But from an injury perspective, he's been hurt time and time again. And, it is what it is. And now here we are in the worst case scenario with him having a high ankle sprain. Is he going to come back? Absolutely. Is he going to be fine? Yes. But right now, and during this pivotal point with just LSU on the horizon, I think it's a worst case scenario. And hopefully you can come back and be healthy. Anything else, Jarek, while you're on the show?
No, that's pretty much about it. I just had to get out. Get off my chest. I just had to get off my chest a little bit. I forgot. I'm just gonna say this. I am going to the Mater Dei St. John Bosco game. I have a cousin that actually plays for St. John Bosco. Mm-hmm. So I can't wait to go to that game, see Bryce Young in action, and I can't wait. I can't wait to see, and hopefully I can come back on the show again and just talk about him, because I heard a lot of good things about him. My cousin, he's sweating like really hard right now. Because he's like, dude, playing against this dude, it's like he's the best quarterback he's ever played against, and he's played against some really good competition, some really good quarterbacks in that Trinity League. So really excited for that.
All right, cool. I appreciate it. Well, we'll definitely get the report, man. You could break it down for us. I mean, because you're always hitting us up with such great updates, Jarek. So I appreciate what you bring to the channel. You do a great job, man. So it's always good to rap with you on Sunday evenings.
All right, yeah, thank you very much.
All right, take it easy, buddy. Jarek from Buffalo, one of my favorite callers, always bringing in with the knowledge. Please hit the thumbs up on the channel and be sure to subscribe. It really helps, the channel thrive. So be sure and hit us up. And we got another call coming in. Hey, hello, you're on the line with Kyle Henderson. Who I'm on the line with, and where are you calling from?
Lenny, California.
Hey, Lenny, what's up, man?
Hey, what's up?
We're 7 days out, man. I'm glad you followed up with another call, man. How was your Sunday?
Oh, it's good. I mean, Bama won, and but I got some things I need to say. We're live, right?
You're live, man.
Okay. First, I was listening to you when the show first came on, and you said it was uncharacteristic of Tua to throw that interception down there, and I respectfully disagree. Okay. That is his character, and he, like Nick Saban has told every quarterback that's ever been there, okay, if it's not there, throw the ball away and live to fight another day, okay? But like Gary Danielson said earlier when the season started this year, he said when he saw Tua doing checkdowns and throwing out in the flats to the backs, he said if Tua has truly learned to do this, this offense is unstoppable. Okay, he said, but has he learned it? So basically what Tua is doing is he's still fighting his nature that he can fit a ball anywhere, any place, at any time. Okay, he reversed back, that, and that's normal. That's normal when you're trying to grow. Okay, what I would like to say is that it's when it comes to LSU. Okay, there are a couple of X factors that are going, and I learned this watching Dan Mullen. When Florida played LSU, Florida had to prepare for two quarterbacks. Okay?
Yep.
And it would be wise for Alabama to have LSU prepare for two quarterbacks. And it will be Mac Jones, and the question is, which Tagovailoa?
Yeah.
Okay, that's an X factor. Okay, another X factor that I would like to see, and I think it's there, and that is Barmore. That boy is ready to go, man. He's bursting. Okay, and I heard the Mississippi State coach said that the reason Burrow is completing all these passes is he's so comfortable. Now I say you do a rotation of those defensive line, but you keep Barmore in the game most of the time and put him on Burrow all night long. Okay, have him rush Burrow all night long, and I think that that's going to make a difference in the game. Now there's another X factor now, and this may lie on you. Do you get to talk to the players at all?
Yes. Yeah, we talk to them on Mondays and on Tuesdays.
Well, I think it would be wise to maybe plant a seed to the offensive line and letting them know that the rest of this season hinges on their ability, that on their will to not let Tua go down ever, not let him be touched anymore the rest of this season. and I think it's a good goal as a group for them to have. Okay, I don't care if they protect the other quarterbacks until Tua gets back, but from this point on, the quarterback cannot be touched. I don't care who it is, and they're big enough and they have the ability. They just need to get nasty like Georgia's offensive line.
Now, Lenny, when you called in last week, you talked about Brian Robinson and the fact that you wanted to see him run more north and south. I think he did that against Tennessee. Were you impressed with his improvement? And talk about the play of Najee Harris as well.
Yeah. Oh, I was definitely impressed. I was impressed last week. Mm-hmm. I was impressed the week before when he was doing, he was trying to run lateral and doing chop steps behind the line of scrimmage, and they pulled him out. I don't know what they said to him, but they said something to him because when they put him back into the game, it was plant left, go straight, plant right, go straight. Yep. Okay, and he's been running like that ever since. So somebody said something to him. I used the force all the way from here from L.A. to mental telepathy.
Yeah, you got it.
As long as it works. But now Najee Harris is going to do his thing. Now, what I want to say about the offensive line is you have the talent. There's nothing wrong with your skill set. You just got to get as nasty as like the Georgia offensive linemen. I mean, they are nasty, man. Okay, and because there were a couple of times that I saw Najee Harris get the ball, but there were men already in the backfield in his face. Mm-hmm. But because of his will to not go down, he broke a few tackles and made extra yardage.
Yeah.
Okay, but a running back, that's not good for a running back to not be able to see his cuts the moment the ball is placed in his belly.
Yeah.
He has to be able to see. He shouldn't have to worry about someone in his face. At least all he needs is, like Gail Sayers says, 18 inches of daylight. Give him that, he'll go.
Now, Lenny, I want to jump back to the defense, and we're talking X factors against LSU. I guess we're just going to bypass this Arkansas game. We're just going to talk about LSU, which is fine with me. The X factor, in my opinion, Terrell Lewis, Anthony Jennings, and then Christian Barmore, like you talked about. Christian Barmore has the ability, and it's crazy. He only played in 16 snaps, which I think, they need to be playing him more, in my opinion. But I think his ability to get after the quarterback, his ability to play angry, they need to unleash him along with Terrell Lewis and Anthony Jennings. And I think if those guys can get heat on the quarterback, Alabama has big enough corners that it's going to have a tough matchup for LSU because you have Trayvon Diggs, who's playing at a great level, and I think Patrick Surtain, he seems like he's in somewhat of a slump right now at corner, but I think he's going to rise up against LSU. He has that playmaking ability. I'm not done with Patrick Surtain by any means, and I think the X factors are the pass rush of Alabama, which I think is peaking just at the right time.
Oh, I agree with you wholeheartedly, but they're going to need that extra pass rush when it comes to LSU. Now, I saw them for the first time. I watched the entire game, and I studied them intently. Mm-hmm. They are a well-rounded team, okay? And they got running backs that can tote that rock, man.
Oh, yeah.
Okay?
Definitely.
And take pressure off those receivers and that quarterback. Okay, now, the question is which defense is going to give up the most points?
Yeah.
But if I'm Alabama, have them prepared for 3 quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Okay, but I don't think that Tua will be 100%. I just don't, because if I look at the laws of average, and it took Jalen, and Jalen is always in great shape. Okay, and it took him that long to come back from a high ankle sprain.
Yeah,
I don't think Tua will be ready in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Okay, but you can do what Dan Mullen did, which I thought was brilliant. LSU had to prepare for 2 quarterbacks, and Dan Mullen used them all the way till the end.
Hey, Lenny, I want to ask you before I let you go, let me interrupt real quick. Hey, guys, if you like what you see on the channel and you like the call-in show and you like all our content, you can hit the super chat. It's a button if you can show us support by hitting the super chat, and anything helps. I mean, we appreciate it. This is how we pay the bills, so be sure and give us a like, a thumbs up, and we can continue to bring you quality content. Lenny, I want to talk to you about the top 4 in college football. Do you feel that Ohio State or Penn State has enough talent to run into the college football playoff? Do you think it's going to be one or the other? I mean, have you watched Clemson? Have you watched Oklahoma? Which team, in your opinion, is for real? Which team is a pretender?
Clemson is definitely a contender. Okay, it's just a matter of which side of the bed they wake up on in the morning.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ohio State is definitely a contender within the Big Ten right now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and no one in the Big Ten is going to beat them. And I could have told people that Wisconsin, I haven't played football in years, and I can outrun half of the guys except that running back they have.
No, come on. Right? Jonathan Taylor's a beast, though. Come on, Lenny.
No. I'm saying not him. I'm saying I can outrun most of them except him. Okay.
All right, I got
you. But what I'm saying is that and they got a wake up call yesterday, but they won't be woke enough. They can't handle Ohio State. They can't handle them next week. But as far as my ranking, here's what I'm going to do, because I understand psychology. I'm going to rank Alabama number 4.
Okay.
I'm going to rank LSU number 1.
All right.
Ohio State number 2.
Okay.
And Clemson number 3.
Okay.
I need LSU to be number 1 when they hit Tuscaloosa.
All right.
I need them to be number 1. That's going to wake Bama up. Trust me.
I'm cool with that. Where do you have Oklahoma? 5?
Yeah, I have them 5.
Okay.
Yeah, I have them 5. It's not like they're playing in the SEC West. We all understand that. Okay. And I like Jalen. Don't get me wrong. I like Jalen, and like I said, I like the loyalty that Nick Saban showed toward him, and I like the fact that they handled everything with class. And and I think it was a double-edged sword for Jalen last night. His heart is still with Bama. You can see it. Okay, and because he can't say they treated him bad, okay, but he's in a competition to be the Heisman, okay, but so is Tua, all right, and that's another thing. But here's the greatest thing that happened, and injury is never good, but now I bet you if he plays 2 weeks from now, Tua can't afford to try and fit those. He'll throw the ball away because he doesn't want to get hit. He doesn't want to get hurt. He doesn't want to get touched.
Yep.
Okay? So get rid of the ball quickly, either to your receivers, to the backfield, to the backs, or throw it away. Don't get touched. If you get touched, Bama doesn't stand a chance. But I think, like I said, if he's not going to play, I would drop the surprise package of the year on them when it comes to Talia and Mac Jones.
All right, well, great stuff, Lenny. As always, I appreciate you calling for the second week in a row. Please continue to call in. We appreciate what you bring to the show. Good stuff. Always great to have a caller from the West Coast.
All right, man. Have a good evening.
All right, take it easy. I was Lenny out in Cali. I appreciate the call in. Take a couple more calls, and then I got to head out, man. I need some rest. Last night was a long one, and then I want to be fresh for tomorrow. Got to bring the stuff for tomorrow, right? Nick Saban will be speaking at 12 p.m., and then we're talking with the players. So you got player interviews, and probably no new update on Tua Tagovailoa. I already read the statement. You can go watch the video, which I posted earlier today. I'll take one more call, and then I will dip out. Hey, what's going on? You're on the line with Kyle Henderson. Who I'm on the line with, and where you calling from?
Hey, how you doing, sir? My name is Frank from Tuskegee, Alabama, but currently in Honolulu, Hawaii.
Oh, okay. What's up, man? So, first of all, how was your Sunday?
It was great, man. Got a chance to go to church, and now outside on the grill trying to get this meat done for the wife before she starts knocking at the door.
Hey, happy wife, happy life, man, right? That's the name of the game.
Yes, sir.
All right, man. So what's on your mind? Go ahead, shoot.
I just wanted to know, since we're talking about the 2 QB system that Dan Mullen did, we did see Slade Bolden go in and throw a touchdown pass, and he was a QB in high school. I think we should keep some packages available for him just in case Tua is not 100% and give LSU something else to think about in 2 weeks.
That Wildcat package is dangerous, right? Slade Bolden is a dangerous young man, and the fact that Nick Saban, that's who Nick Saban goes to for the scout team. So whenever Alabama is playing a dual threat quarterback, they always go to Slade Bolden. That's not bad. Just like Lenny was saying, give LSU something to think about, and maybe that's what Nick Saban was doing out on the chessboard, because Nick Saban is always playing chess, not checkers, and the fact that that little package, that Wildcat package, that could be dangerous. You saw what John Plumlee did from Ole Miss. That guy was tough to stop, and who's to say Slade Bolden can't do the same thing?
Yeah, he can do the same thing. And just like when we had Josh Jacobs, in short yardage, or third and 2 or something like that, get him on the outside and let him tire him out. So when we do go back to the big backs, LSU's already on their heels. So that was my little cup of tea on that. Also on the linebackers, I think we have to do something about this fitting the run game, because Raekwon Davis just not the Raekwon Davis he was his sophomore year, as far as demanding double teams and making plays in the backfield. And Shane Lee just not cutting it as far as scraping down the line and filling the holes, because Tennessee, if it wasn't for the safeties, probably could have had 200 yards rushing easily with some of these big runs on these outside zones they were running.
Yeah, I think, like I said, the defense has been, there's been a lot of vulnerabilities out there, and a lot of it has become because of the youth. Raekwon Davis, what is so perplexing to me is that he doesn't have one quarterback sack, and I get that. I'm not going to talk about that anymore. He's not going to be a pass rusher. A run stuffer, we've seen him. We get these grades from Pro Football Focus, so he's been doing pretty good against the run defense, but in terms of getting after the quarterback, that's just not him. That's just not who he's going to be. DJ Dell, he's done a good job, but Christian Barmore seems to be the guy that Alabama can rely on to get after the quarterback. I don't know why he's not playing more. Only 16 snaps last game, 16 snaps the game before. I think Barmore is a guy who is on fire right now. I think you need to unleash him.
Yeah, I think he is. Because I'm not understanding why he's behind Igbokwe in the depth chart coming on the field when Igbokwe and Ray are both coming off injuries. So I think they let Barmore loose, and whoever else. I don't understand the Ben Davis concept. I guess I think he's probably gonna transfer next year because Chris Allen is still in front of him. And
no, I just like it. It's the curious case of Ben Davis. Ben Davis is, highly touted, came here as a 5-star and just has not seen the field. He's seen it a couple times here and there, but I don't think he's ever going to play at Alabama. And fans continue to ask why. It could be a talent thing. It could be, something up top. Maybe he's just not grasping the concepts. I don't know why, but Ben Davis continues to be, hot topic every single week. And I guess it's going to be like that until he's out of here. But Ben Davis continues to not be on the field. And, it is what it is.
Yeah, we're just going to get that because he's the most experienced, I think, linebacker right now on the team because he's a redshirt junior. And he came there as a middle, practiced at middle. So I think he would just slide over. To the middle this. And then beside Dylan, it been him and Dylan Moses. So we had a thumper in Davis and Moses with his 4.4 speed to make the plays on the outside. But I guess you can't coach it. You can't coach it on the field. You can't coach motivation, I guess.
And last night I thought Saban said something, and this is still regarding the inside linebackers. Think about this. Alabama, theoretically, they should have 3 upperclassmen linebackers on the inside right now. If Mack Wilson doesn't leave to the NFL draft, and then if Dylan Moses doesn't get hurt and Joshua McMillan, those are your linebackers. Imagine the defense at this point compared to the defense right now. Losing those 3 guys is monumental. Mack Wilson, you see what he's doing for the Cleveland Browns. He's playing. He's balling out. And then you have Dylan Moses, who was really the coach on the field. And then you have Joshua McMillan. I don't, from a talent standpoint, would he be better than Shane Lee or Christian Harris? Probably a little bit better. But I think just from a leadership perspective, he would have been better. But all those 3 guys are not here. So therefore, Christian Harris and Shane Lee, they really have no one else to look up to. Who's providing the mentorship for those inside linebackers? The answer is nobody. It's them and Pete Golding.
Yeah, because I think Markel Ben, he's maybe a little light. I thought he was around 240, but his brother is in the Air Force with me, and we talking to regular, and he said he's around 220 actually instead of 240.
Yeah, I'm looking here. They have him listed at 230. So they've got him in a couple times. Maybe talent-wise, he just isn't there. I think they want him to be there. But, he's just not there. And then same with Ali Kahu. They put him in for, here and there. But I think Nick Saban likes those 2 freshmen. They put Kahu in at fullback. They have him in at special teams. But Nick won't put him in and start him, at inside linebacker. Keeps going with the freshman again and again.
Yeah, I think Ben's getting some run when they go in nickel, going dime. I think Ben's getting a little bit of playing time when it's passing scenarios. And against LSU, they're gonna pick on the linebackers. So my key to the LSU game would be Jordan Battle, the freshman, because he's gonna have to play because they're gonna go 4 wide a lot.
Oh yeah, yep.
And whoever that linebacker is, that's gonna have to take away some of those crossing routes.
Yeah.
So if we can, hopefully Pete Golden will suck his pride up and play some zone. Please play some zone. Mm-hmm. Don't go back to the Clemson thing and just play man the whole game and let these big receivers just jump ball us to death and get all these pass interferences this year, hopefully.
Let me ask you this: when we're talking about zone, we're talking about the defensive secondary. What do you think about Shaheem Carter? Because he's a guy who has a lot of experience, but he's undersized. I think he could be. He plays well, but I mean, could he be a vulnerability against a team like LSU who has these big physical wide receivers? Yeah,
I think he could get picked on a lot because they have the big 6'6", 6'7" guy Sullivan, and Jefferson's around 6'3", and Marshall's around 6'2", 6'3". So I think he's going to be vulnerable to the big play when they're running the wheel routes or something like that and trying to get the jump balls on the outside. So hopefully we'll get enough pressure because I don't think LSU faced any pressure this year. Yeah. No one's really got the Burrow and made him dance a little bit and move his feet. So hopefully, Lewis and Jennings, who they're going to do what they need to do. So hopefully we can get some push from the inside and get Burrow on the move and don't give him time enough to throw the jump balls all day. So I hope they play some zone, though. I really hope they play some zone, keep it in front of them, and just try to make some plays, cause a couple of turnovers because we're turning the ball over this year, but not a lot. We don't have a lot of turnovers as you would think. As much as we're up and people are throwing against us, I think we will have more interceptions or more, sacks this year.
Frank, let me ask you this. For Alabama going forward, let's say that Tua is not healthy or not 100% come that LSU game. I'm pretty sure he will be, but does Alabama have enough talent, and can Mac Jones beat an LSU team? That's a hypothetical question. You don't have to answer it, but I'm just curious to get your take on that.
I think we can if we adjust and do like we're doing now. When we went to under center and running downhill with these big backs, if we can run downhill with Dickerson at center and Big Deontay Brown at guard with Big Evan Neal, if we don't get in the shootout with them and play to our strengths, we have two 220-plus pound running backs. Yeah. Run downhill at them and just pound on them. That way the play action can come into play and we can hit Judy and Ruggs and Smitty on these crossing routes or these slants. But if we can run the ball and go back to – because they're going to bring the pressure. If Mac Jones starts, they're going to bring the pressure. Yep. That's when we go back to the old Alabama offense. The T.J. Yeldon, throw the screens right behind them. Because they're going to bring the pressure as soon as they know that Mac Jones is in the game or Tua's a little injured. They're going to bring pressure to try to get some hits on him. Yep. Throw the screens to Harris. Get Jalen Water the ball as much as possible in space. I think we're not doing enough.
Thank you.
So
it's crazy to me that Jalen Waddle only plays 16 plays per game. Isn't that mind blowing?
That's mind blowing that he's not getting enough run. I think they want to get the guys, the upperclassmen, as much as we can, but we have a bad issue of not playing guys to get them the ball. Like, why is Tyrell Shavers and Xavier Williams not getting any? We're up by 30 and they're still on the bench and they're not getting any looks at all to get them any kind of reps. Or why are we not getting Water the ball or handoffs on the jet sweeps or on the screen or anything like that to give him touches? Because I think we get so Tua happy, just like the national championship. We ran the ball down Clemson's throat, but we get so Tua happy, and so he should have won the Heisman. He got robbed that we didn't win the game. We could have just won the game.
And I think what you're seeing right now is the fact that Tua and the Alabama staff, I mean, don't get it twisted. Those guys are looking at other stats from other teams because they don't want to have Tua lose the Heisman Trophy. They're looking at Joe Burrow. They're looking at Jalen Hurts. Don't get me wrong, they are. And, that's why they're letting him pad stats more than they did last year. And, it is what it is. And I think when you look at it, he didn't have the production last year that Kyler Murray did or Dwayne Haskins. But this year, they're letting him rack up those touchdowns because they want that Heisman Trophy. They want Tua to represent Alabama on that podium come mid-December. Anything else, Frank, while you're on the line? I thought it was a great call, man. You should definitely call again. You brought a lot to the show.
Yeah, that's just it. I just hope we don't get to the point where we're willing to sacrifice a national championship for his Heisman hopes. That's be my only thing. Let's not do that. I think we did it last year against Auburn, against Georgia. We got so Tua. Let's push Tua, and then let's not play to win the game. What's best for the team and not the player.
Yep. Absolutely. Yep. Yeah, good stuff, man. I appreciate your call. Don't let that meat overcook, man. You want the wife to be happy, man, especially on a Sunday night. Yeah. You got a big week ahead of you, man.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it. Yeah, I'm gonna put it right now.
All right. Hey, Frank, are you in the military?
Yes, sir.
Hey, we appreciate your service, man. Thank you so much for what you do for our great country, and that never goes overstated, man. So thank you so much for your service. We greatly appreciate what you do for our great country. So thank you very much.
All right, appreciate it, sir. Thank you.
All right, man. Take it easy, buddy.
All right, have a blessed week.
All right, take it easy, man. All right, good call in, and I'm gonna end right there, man. I have to tell you, this was a great show. I appreciate all the feedback, everyone calling in. This is how it should be done. I always look forward to rapping with you guys on Sunday night. Great stuff. Be good people out there. I appreciate you guys jumping on. And like I said, to our last caller, thank you so much to the men and the women who serve this great nation. We appreciate what you do for us. It's homecoming week here in Tuscaloosa, Alabama. The schedule for this coming week, Nick Saban on Monday. You got the player interviews on Tuesday and Wednesday. And then, we'll get it going for homecoming. It should be a great week. New quarterback for Alabama against Arkansas. Let me know what you guys think in the comment box if you think Mac Jones will throw for over 200 yards. And we'll continue to bring it to you. Thank you so much for all the likes. And, please continue to subscribe and let's grow this YouTube channel. I sincerely appreciate you guys staying with us. Andrew Bone, Tony Sukas, also part of the team. Thank you, everyone, for following us tonight. Have a good night. Have a strong week. Let's be good people out there. I'll catch you guys soon. See ya.